All right, back at it again, Cigar Spence. No group chat today. It's just Spence and Co. And I got some special company with me. If you can see the names, it's all fights on my channel right now.
Sure.
I've got the Pops. I've got Drenon Fite Jr., the Assistant Superintendent at Tatum ISD. And I got his two sons. The older one, Drenon Jr. Well, not, he's the third. Trey Fite the third. And then we've got Cullen Fite. Is he a junior?
Nah,
No, it's just
No,
season.
just okay. So all right, cool.
nah,
All
it's
right, so
good.
it's just CJ. All right, cool.
Yeah,
I'm trying
it's
to
just
get all these names. It's a lot of names going on. How you men doing today, man?
good about yourself.
Been good.
Been good, man. Of course, you know our East Texas page. I've been keeping up with East Texas material for quite a while, and yeah, all y'all's names have popped up. Trey made my initial top 100 his junior season after a dominant. I think he was D lineman of the year as a junior. He made my top 100, and then a couple of years later, CJ joined the list, maybe three-time member of the list. So I've been keeping up with the play. I actually got a chance to coach Trey at Tatum that one year I was there in 2018, his freshman year, which was a fun season. It didn't end the way it should have, but it was quite a fun ride. I don't know how well you guys are with that. So we'll start with Dad. Dad, you're the orchestrator of this, obviously, right? You're the one that put this thing into motion a long time ago. What's it like to see that fight name on those back of those jerseys on Saturdays, and just knowing that you and your wife, y'all put so much work into your children? You also have a daughter who graduated from Texas State, I believe,
Yes.
yeah, bro.
from Texas State. So you've got three kids, all of them about to, if they're not all graduated already. Um, College graduates on the way. Man, what's that like to see those names on that name on that jersey and the pride that that you have as a father watching them?
Well, first of all, my wife, we always say that we are blessed to have three kids that are grounded, humble, and have a sense of foundation of knowing and where they come from and having humble beginnings, realizing that it's truly a blessing to be in the positions that they're in. And two, I think it goes back to my father. My father, the fight name, he wanted to share with me before. That name means a lot because you can ruin it in just a fraction of a second. And at the same time, you can carry it along. And that's what I've kind of preached to them all is that well, no matter where you go, somebody's always watching. And being able to carry that name, because once again, it only takes one incident to ruin it all. And you're not only representing yourself, you're representing this family, you're representing this town. And that name, you can make it up. And once again, we all associated with one another. So being able to poke your chest out and be proud at the same time, but knowing that it's truly a blessing to be able to see it because not everybody get the opportunity to play at that level.
No, for sure, for sure. So what's it like, man? You got two sons playing in two different locations every single week. What's the most difficult thing about that for you and your wife?
Well, it's definitely scheduling. We made a vow that somebody is going to try to be at the game, whether it's away or home or to be in support. I mean, we when he even went off for 17 hours away at Arizona State, it was okay. Well, we're going to have to figure it out. So we have a great village that I can say we have from between family members, from grandmother to brother-in-law to aunts and uncles and cousins. We travel and friends. We get there as best as we can to have somebody in the stands to support them.
For sure. Now, I know Trey personally because I got a chance to coach him. And then, of course, everybody knows CJ. He's been on TV quite a bit here in these last couple of years. What would you say, how did education really separate your children from the pack? Because when they speak, they're both well-spoken young men. You could tell that there's not a whole lot of ignorance going on with that crew. What would you say about, how would you say education kind of separated your kids from the rest?
Well, I would think first they started even at a young age of understanding the importance of education. I think one of the bracelets that they wore and that we passed out is my dad used to say, "Get all you can while you can," because when you get it, it's something that no one can take from you. The other aspect of that is it being in church and being able to give Mama was going to give them some speeches. They had to get up and you're going to perform. You're going to be able to speak in front of people. You need to learn it at an early age because, believe it or not, communication is the key. If you can communicate, it can open up so many doors. And I think in a generation that we're living in now and in the times that we live in, a lot of that communication is a lost skill because of cell phones and things of that nature. However, I can remember Trey was going on a track meet, and we were going to College Station. And one of the things to understand, we were not going to have anything on cell phone of learning just to talk and have a conversation. Just learning that skill, once again, being able to talk to adults, being able to talk to uh, in any setting. If you learn how to communicate, it will open doors that a lot of people can't open for you.
It's huge. Not only education, but communication. That's a key point right there. I like that. I like to hear that because communication. You don't have to have an education to know how to communicate. You know, if
Correct.
you can communicate, you can get yourself in a lot of doors and a lot of opportunities. I like that. All right, Trey, let's start off with you, big fella. All right, now, when did you buy into the thought of being a defensive lineman? Because if y'all don't know Trey, Trey's a skinny built kid, man. He's about 6'5". When I met him, he was about 6'5", 175 pounds. So when did that just translate that I'm gonna be a D lineman, I'm gonna be physical, I'm getting this mix every single play?
Truly, I think it started, definitely junior year. Uh, you were my coach, but, for people that don't know, I started out as a receiver. And so being a receiver and being a tight end, I truly didn't like to get hit. I like to hit people. And so I think that mindset, and once I was on the line, I was just able to like just get out the ball, run, and just go to the ball. And I just kind of adapted that. But I truly don't think I fully bought into it probably until last year, because like I said, once I transferred to Louisiana, I was a linebacker for 3 years, and so last year, I went from 240 to about 260, and so kinda the movements weren't out there, and so, like, in my mind, like, they would have me come in for big packages, and so after that, I was just, like, you know, trying to work on my hands more, trying to work on pass rush a little bit more, because that's kinda where I felt like my bread and butter was gonna be.
For sure. And, you know, you started out as a receiver. Hands were a little shaky. I must admit the hands were a little shaky. But I do remember West Rusk, man. I remember West Rusk, and I believe it was West Rusk. We went
Yeah,
down there.
I
It
remember
was
that.
a game that we were not supposed to win. I remember that was everybody thought West Rusk was going to beat us, and it kind of put us in a good position in district to almost win it. And I remember you made a big time touchdown catch in the end zone. You went up, high pointed the ball, and we all kind of looked on the sideline like, "Who just did that? That wasn't Jaden, was it? That was Trey."
Uh,
Yeah, I remember that was a really good night. That's one of the best nights I had out there in Tatum because I remember we didn't not too many people other than the green and white gave us a chance going into that game, and big plays made by freshmen like you and about 4 or 5 other freshmen that we had on the field at that
Right,
time.
right.
That's one of my best memories being out there. So initially, you signed with SMU. Um, how was that living in Dallas, going from Tatum to like SMU Dallas? Now, there's all sorts of Dallases. There's like 19 different Dallases out there, but
Not
SMU
really.
Dallas is a little bit different. So how was it going from Tatum, Texas, to right in the middle of a big metroplex city like Dallas?
no, it was definitely an adjustment. Obviously, I'm a country kid at heart, but I do like the city. I like to do different things. So going to Dallas, it, I think I call it my like introduction to college. Like I said, football was just kind of there for me at one point. So kind of just like learning the ropes of football, college football, of workouts. Obviously, I was 205 pounds actually going in as a D lineman, and so kind of like trusting myself, trying to put on weight, trying to play in a defensive, true DN, and working things that I obviously at a smaller school you don't get to work on. And so I think that was a big kind of like adjustment. But yeah, SMU it taught me a lot of lessons.
For sure. Which brings to my next question. What's tougher, on the field or off the field in college? Well, as a student athlete, having to manage so much because, for those of us who didn't play, it's pretty easy off the field. But for a guy like you that's got to devote so much time for both of y'all, I'm going to leave you out, CJ, but for guys like you guys that have to devote so much time and attention to the field, what's it like trying to balance a life off the field? Which ones do you think is a little bit more difficult?
I would definitely say off the field. One of the biggest things I think is discipline, having discipline. Like obviously, you people talk about it all the time, but if you have like an assignment due, like you got to get that assignment due, even though you might want to go party or you got some, something going on. Like it's really about having discipline and knowing like where your priorities lie and where you can make prioritize your time essentially. Um, but yeah, and then like I always tell myself that on the field, especially like for I don't know what 8 months, like you're working really hard. You go through off season, like, and my coach used to tell us all the time. They're like, in season, that's where you make your money. Like it shouldn't be hard during season. So like especially last year, I try to think like the party, like go out there, just go have fun, like cash out because you cash in for 8 months grinding. But like this, it shouldn't really be hard on the field.
All right. All right. So you left SMU after your freshman year. You went to Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, I believe, right?
Yes, sir.
And now you're in San Antonio at UTSA with a bunch of other East Texans, obviously coached by an East Texan legend and Jeff Traylor. What's the first off, what's it like being coached under Traylor? Because a lot of people from East Texas are all kind of curious about how he's doing in the college role. So what's that insight like being under Coach Traylor, a Gilmer legend now here at UTSA?
No, it's definitely like home. Like from just how he talks to how he interacts with kids. He always talks about all the time he's a true high school coach at heart. So like he's gonna come talk to you. Like he's not really distant as some college coaches or head coaches are kind of distant, but like he's gonna be right there. He's always gonna talk to you. Um, very, very lax, but he'll we make sure we get the work done, but he is very, very lax and laid back and really tries to let his coaches coach, which I think was really cool.
What's up? All right, so it's a bunch of East Texans. You got two quarterbacks out there. You got a couple of running backs out there. And what's it like? Do you East Texas guys hook up out there in UTSA, or do y'all talk about being from this area 903, or is it kind of a little bit more spread out than what I think it would be?
I think it's a little bit of both. But definitely, like I remember when the first person I technically met was we call him Double D. But he's from Dangerfield and
Right, Jacobian, yeah.
Jacavian Rogers, and that's the first person I met, and that's kind of the first one of the first conversations we had was like, oh yeah, I remember the Dangerfield game, and kind of like just playing with knowing that we had played against each other, and there's a lot more to. We do talk a lot, and obviously, Coach Traylor calls me Tatum. So a
Okay.
lot of times, like everybody know East Texas is something big on the campus, and that for the football team. So I think we just all have like a little bond right there.
That's what's up, man. All right, CJ. I'm sure this is probably one of the few times you've gone last in the lineup, huh? You're usually one of those guys that's getting those questions shoved to him first here, but
Nah.
obviously you took a little bit different of a journey, a bigger prospect coming out of school. And I remember telling your dad, like, 8th grade, and I don't know if you remember the workout, but I remember we were having a lineman workout, and you came, and, I had to put on my big boy shoes and actually, like, go to work against an 8th grader. Like, I had
Nah,
to,
I
like,
remember.
really put my hands on an 8th grader in order to win reps, and I remember talking to your dad later, like, "This dude is special." I'm offensive lineman at heart, so I've always wanted you to play center because I just that's just who I am, I can't help it, but obviously and he'll tell you the same. I've been saying he should, offensive line, NFL offense, but nonetheless, here we are. You're getting to go into your senior year, and the NFL at defensive line looks like just as big of a prospect as I thought from the other side. But before we jump into that, how was it going from when did you know you wanted to go to Arizona State? That's a hell of a jump from Tatum, Texas.
Yeah. It was really in the summer before my senior season, because it was with the old staff. So I fell in love with the old staff. I fell in love with just Tempe then, and went through the whole season. And I guess that staff got wiped out. So we had new coaching staff, new everything. So at that point, me and my dad were having a lot of conversations. We were like, I think we just like call it and decommit. So I decommit, and that's when not so long after I ended up messing up my ankle. I guess the first game in district. So I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, where I was going to go, because I was like, I can't go to Arizona State. They got new staff. They like at that point they haven't even called me yet. So I guess it was getting time to where sign early, because I was going to be an early grad. So early sign was coming. I'd already figured out I was graduating then, so I knew I had to make a decision quick. So I was going to go to Fresno. Like I was telling everybody, like I was telling my dad, I'm going to Fresno. That's what it's just gonna be right now. He was like, "You know how expensive those tickets are?" And I remember at one point, I was just like, I can't do nothing about that. I just got to go somewhere." But finally, I get a phone call from the D-line coach in the DC, and we just talk. I mean, I think it was after athletics or something. We just talk, and we have a good conversation. I go to class. I come back for class, and I was like, "I'm gonna go ahead." I told my dad, "I'm gonna go ahead and commit." So I commit back, and that's when I think 2 days after the D-line coach came, right then and there, I knew that that place was like, "This place is special," and I was like, "That's where I wanna be these next 4 years." So, yeah, I probably since that moment, it was about on and off, but I think I really confirmed it at one time when Coach Amy had came out here to visit, when he came out to
And
Tatum.
that's new news for me and probably for a lot of us that are listening to it right now, because that's the side of recruitment not a lot of people really know
Yeah,
about and keep up with. When a new staff comes in, all those other scholarships are like they never happen. And
yeah.
so, you have to reestablish a new relationship with a new staff. And, that's really fortunate. I don't want to say crazy. It's really fortunate. And I'm glad that you got an opportunity to recommit to Arizona State. And I'm glad it's worked out for you. Now, looking back at it, you've always talked about your strength. That's been your deal. How strong you are, and then video clips of you as a freshman. Going in there squatting. I don't know how much it was at the time, but if it's a video of you, your daddy gonna send it to me, and I'm gonna see it. That's for sure. But I remember as a freshman, you coming in, and everybody's talking about how strong you are, and then you got a chance to get on the field early. So now as a senior, looking back at it, was it more difficult or was it more fun as a freshman at Arizona State? Would
It
it be
was
on the field
definitely.
or off the field?
You saying which one was more difficult, on the field, off the field?
Yeah, well, just like when you look at it, do you look back at it and say, "Man, that was actually difficult," or do you look back at it and say, "Man, that was more fun than I actually thought it was having?" Or is it
I'd
both?
say in the moment, I thought it was difficult. And then when I look back, then I was like, I was having a lot more fun than I thought I was. But my mind was so caught up on all the negative, and my mental wasn't nearly where it needed to be and where it's at now. I think I was so caught up on I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. I was making sure I didn't do mess up, making sure I was, I guess, living up to expectations. And I was kind of just on the negative side of things instead of realizing where I was, what I was doing, and the I guess the position that God had put me in. So once I look back, I was like, everything I went through was a blessing, and it was a lot more fun than it was in the moment. But in the moment, it was definitely I felt it was very difficult, but it really wasn't.
For sure, and that's life in every aspect. We all think we're going through something really, really difficult, and then about a year
Mhm.
later, we look back at it like, man, all I had to do was remove myself from the situation, and it
Yeah.
really wasn't that big of a deal. So that's cool that you got to experience that as a freshman. Now, looking at it now, when do you think that moment clicked for you, where everything was like, not only can I do this, but I can be successful out here?
I'd say you would think it would be before the season started, but it really didn't click till I think UCLA game. UCLA game was at the end of the season. That was when the season was about over. We knew we weren't going to a bowl game, but that's when everything started clicking, and I started like really like feeling good about myself and like my abilities, and like I started getting that confidence. We had, I think that game we had like 3 or 4 fourth and ones, and then I think I made a play on 1 or 2 of them, and then I was splitting double teams. So it was like I was like, okay, these are the times where like you become a man, like you figure out who's that manly man. And I was in there, and I was doing this, and I was doing this, and I was like, as I kept going on throughout the season, like that confidence kept building and building. And I think that game was really where I guess I just really started hitting the rise. I think I plateaued for a little bit just mentally, and then at that point, that's when it just started going, and it's just been rising ever since, really.
It really doesn't make sense because, both of you coming from Tatum, playing 3A football, and then all of a sudden being out there with fully grown men and having to like put hands on grown men and move grown men and split grown
Mhm.
men and then tackle another grown man that's more athletic than the grown man I just dealt with. So
Yeah,
I
big
for
difference.
sure, I understand it completely. It makes all the sense in the world. Now, as your sophomore year, you guys went on an incredible run. Sam Levitt was a quarterback, I believe. Of course, you got a chance to play with Scatterbull, which was one of the more didn't know him before the year, but as that year progressed through, he's gonna be one of those things like, damn, you played with Cam Scatterbull? Like it's gonna be one of those stories you get to tell. how fun was that year? And then just how fun was it to be in that playoff game, to play Texas of all teams? Like, and being a Texas kid, you know, I feel like all Texas kids want to beat the crap out of Texas when they play
Yeah,
Texas.
yeah.
So how was the year and then that college football playoff experience? How was that?
Yeah, that year was definitely fun. It was a cool experience to be a part of. I think going into the year, we were picked to be last in the conference. Nobody believed in us. We were kind of those underdogs, and each game we were just kind of like chipping away and chipping away and chipping away. As the season went on, we're like, okay, like same way with my freshman year when I was like, okay, okay, and then I finally hit that moment. It was the same thing with the team. Like each game, everybody started getting confidence, more confidence, and I think we beat like 2 ranked teams, and we're like, okay, yeah, we got this. And like so that year, it was just like there were so many moments. We had like the BYU game last. I think we ended the game. It was a pick, or one of our DBs caught a pick, and that was to end the game. And then we had crazy play against K State. We had to stop them in the 20. There were so many games where like it came down to those small moments that you don't like experience very often. So like our coach even said we were like maybe 4 or 5 moments away from being maybe on a four win season or something like that. So for us to
Yeah.
have won those moments and experience those, that kind of just made the season so much better. And then going to that game in itself was just crazy. Obviously, it didn't end how we wanted to, but we were down, I think 17-0 going, or 24. It was something crazy going in that. The second play of the game, they scored, then they got the ball back, scored again, and they went and kicked a field goal. So we were down 17-0 off the back, and then we went down 24-6 or something. It was something crazy. And then
Off
we
the
just
tongue,
started,
man.
yeah, and it was that game. That's when we realized, like, okay, we got to keep going. Like, we gotta really lock in. We gotta do this. But that's just who the team was. We lived in those moments of adversity, those times. We've been there before, so it was like it wasn't anything new to us. It was just a different stage. We just got to get used to it. And then I think once we got our feet on ourselves, that's when it just got to rolling. And we're one play away from doing what we needed to do. But I mean, it's still a blessing just to be there.
No, facts. There's so many people that'll never play haven't played in a high school playoff game. You get a chance to play in a college football playoff game. That's an incredible experience. So for sure, man, that's something you cherish for the rest of your life. Now, each year you've progressed, and obviously you probably answered this question 1,000 times. But what do you expect from your senior year, your last year, just individually? What do you expect from yourself, and then as a team, what do you expect from those Sun Devils?
Yeah, I'm really just expecting a more dominant season. I mean, going off each year, I've kind of progressed. Looking at it how I want it to be, obviously, I feel like I can get better, no matter what the season looks like. So, like each year, I haven't been satisfied with the way I played. I haven't been satisfied with the outcomes. I mean, obviously, I look at it as like it's a blessing, and try to sit back and just appreciate everything, and like still be proud of myself. But I know there's so much more out there. So at this point, I'm just trying to get it all, without being greedy, obviously. But
Ah,
I mean,
man, go be greedy.
yeah.
You got
I mean,
one. You got one opportunity at this, brother. Go eat for me. If you feel like you ate enough, then go. I know it's a person back at
I
home. I want you
agree.
to eat some more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like way I've looked at it, like I really sat down. I had it written on my mirror, like somebody gotta be the one to make it happen. And I was like, why not you? Like somebody gotta be the next this, no, somebody gotta be the next LeBron, somebody gotta be the next this. And it's like, and it's the guy I was talking to somebody, the guy who's gonna be the next LeBron. Well, LeBron, maybe when he was in a moment or he was growing up, a little kid, he probably didn't think he was gonna be the next LeBron. So there's always this somebody who has to be that next guy. So that's how I'm just trying to kind of look at it, like, because coming out of Tatum, I didn't fully believe in myself what I could do. I didn't even know coming this far was possible. So like now I'm like flip my whole mindset, like, okay, there's just a whole nother level to get to. So I'm just trying to continue to climb, continue to get to it. Um, so yeah.
For sure. And I'm sure you've heard this, but before we move on to the brother segments of this interview, I just want to offer this to you, man. Don't play with any pressure, brother.
Mm.
You've gotten to where you are, being who you are, based off the lessons you've learned and the strength that you have and the way that you've played. Don't let the pressure of the next level or the pressure of trying to be all conference or all American or anything. Just go out and enjoy it and have fun. What's for you is gonna happen for you. So
Exactly.
just don't live with that pressure. I could just only imagine that, trying to play under those pressures where every game feels like, okay, I could be third round, okay, I could be fifth round, okay, I could
Yeah.
be whatever. And man, just enjoy yourself and try to enjoy these moments in your last moments of college and let the cards fall where they fall. The guy's gonna take care of you like he's always has. And so,
Yeah.
that's the one thing I want to say to you before we move on to the next
Appreciate
segment.
that.
For sure. The next segment, brother questions. So it's for you guys. We've already kind of hit the first two, so I'm gonna skip into it. How often do you guys get a chance to talk to each other throughout the week?
You want to go ahead?
We try to communicate at least once. He does have a hard time answering his phone, but we do try to talk. We like if it's not on call, we do TikTok. So we might send TikToks or it's reels. Like we try to have some type of form of communication.
No, facts. I get you. I
Well,
get
I
you.
got to get the back end of that question. That they always try to blame me for not answering the phone. We on different time zones. So they want to call me at times, and then they get mad when I call them at certain times. Because everybody's like, we know CJ call when they call at times people work. But I'm calling when I'm available, and that it just happened to be a time difference. So I make a phone call. They may not answer. They make one. I may not answer. So that's what that is.
And that is a fair point.
So,
I give you that. That's a fair point. Dad, what you got to say about that?
well, I mean, he kind of, I don't know. I would kind of lean towards Trey saying that he does have a problem with answering that phone sometimes. But it is a
Yeah, I'll
2 hour
give that.
difference. I'll give him credit. It's 2 hour difference. So most of the time he try to call you back and daddy in the bed. It's time for me to go night night. I gotta go to work, and it's 8 o'clock there and it's 10 here. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, it's a wrap. At about 9:30, it's a wrap over here. I hear
No
you.
doubt. No doubt.
All right. So what have you guys learned from each other, whether it be on the field or off the field? What's something that you feel like you've learned from your brother?
I'll say when I was in high school, when I watched Trey when he made the switch to D line, when I watched his effort and his pursuit for the ball, that kind of clicked for me, and I kind of try to bring it into my game when I started playing in high school and try to just have effort the whole game, high motor the whole game, just have it translate because it goes a long way being around the ball. So I think that's the biggest thing that kind of changed my game going from my freshman year to my sophomore year is just having the motor that I saw him have in the game.
That's facts. That's what's up.
For me, I definitely would say that's even hearing him talk, the passion for the game and his drive. I think obviously everybody know his strength. Obviously, I would want a little bit of the strength too, but definitely just his drive, his passion, and like his aggression towards whatever he does. I definitely try to incorporate that into my game as well.
Okay, that's what's up. All right. Last time you guys gave each other a compliment. It's nice to hear.
Yeah.
That's nice to hear. All right, between you two, who won the most growing up? Whatever it was, whether it's Scrabble, whether it's backyard basketball, football, who won the most growing up?
I would I would have to say me. I did the most.
No, you talking
So
about against each
I
other?
did do. You said what?
Talking about against each other. Me versus you.
Oh, against each other.
Me.
I might have to give him that. I
Okay.
might actually.
All right, we don't need the tiebreaker. Dad was getting ready to try to give us a tiebreaker, but it seems like we're gonna tell the truth up here. So
Yeah,
that's
no,
why I
I
need
might
to hear.
have to give it to him. I'll give it.
All right, between you two brothers, who's mama's favorite?
I would definitely say me. I confide in my mom more. So yeah, I'll call her and just tell her about my day. So I personally think I would, but she'll say it's neither of them. So I'm gonna go with that answer. Is that she'll
I
say
go with that.
she-
Both of them are her
she'll love
booper. Both are her
it.
boopers.
I'm her booper.
Yeah. Both of them are boopers. So hey, I'm third on that one, so I'm out of it. Yeah.
You might be
Third on
four.
that one. That's funny.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
probably right.
Madison.
Fourth one. That's even funny.
Yeah, Madison, she probably won.
No.
Okay, so speaking of big sister, what do you think? What does she bring in this sibling dynamic? How often y'all get a chance to talk to her? What's is she like mama number two? I know my two older sisters. They treat me like they had me sometimes. I'm like, who are you talking to? So what's that dynamic like?
She was definitely head honcho when we were growing up. We were scared of our sister. She even apologized. She's like, I apologize for how I treated y'all when we were younger. Like she was definitely, if mom and dad weren't there or around, we were listening to her and we weren't doing anything. We was making sure that we didn't make her mad.
The one
I
thing I
will.
can say about her now, she's probably the voice of reasoning now.
Yes.
As she's matured, she's more of the, okay, have you guys looked at it from this angle? And she's even helped me look at different things angle just based upon the voice of reasoning, because sometimes I can get pretty wound up and it's okay. So coming to the voice of reasoning, I can give her that now.
That's awesome.
I
It's
would
nice to
definitely
hear.
say also that she, at least for me, she was definitely like the first example, like a sibling wise, that kind of taught us like hard work. I remember they talk about it all the time. It was like us, like me going out and trying to work out, and like she would force us. Like at one point, I hated running, which is crazy
Mhm.
because I love to run now. But like at one point, I hated to run, and she would like force me to go run. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I would be like, we'd just be arguing the whole time, but she was gonna make sure that we got our work in. And so like, her driving volleyball and her doing all the extra stuff and traveling, I think that kind of just also kind of drove, I know for me, definitely helped me see some things going into sports too.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Growing up and seeing just intense and competitive matches and just that, I think all sports are great for all athletes, just being in different environments and understanding the moments. Man, that's all helps for sure.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Give me one teammate, either on your team or in your conference that dude's really good, but nobody talks about.
I
You
would
go first.
say, yeah, I would say we have a D lineman named Todd Leonard. Uh, he's number 99. He's from Houston. Went to North Shore. Uh, he's a really good player. Nobody really talks about him, but he has it just the technician of the game. And he's a really like he'll sideline to sideline run. Like he's a great player.
Okay. He'll look out for him. What about you, CJ?
For me, I'll say two dudes on D line. I'm gonna say the D tackles. We got a lot of dudes, but D tackle wise, we have one dude, Zach Swanson. He was hurt last year, but he's a ball player for sure. And we have Blazing Lonawong. They're both like, they were kind of just in like a role player role like the past few years. But I feel like now, like they're ready to kind of make that step. I mean, Blaze has kind of been put on the back burner. People don't really see him and what he's doing. But like I know what Blaze can do. I've seen the way he works and the effort and like how he does things. I think this year he's just going to skyrocket on the field. The same thing with Zach Swanson. So probably them two are the ones I'm excited about with the DTs.
Okay. All right. Give me the funniest teammate you've ever had, whether it be at Tatum or whether that's in college.
Funniest team.
I don't know. For me, when I was in Louisiana, the whole team, like I would just say the whole team was funny. Obviously, going to South Louisiana was just different because they're just different in general. But like when I say like they were just cracking jokes the whole entire time, like it was like it was a good time. And we I was always laughing. Like it was just so funny. All of them were so funny.
Believe it. Louisiana is different, but when you start going south, it gets even more different.
Yeah, no,
It gets even more different for sure.
For
What
me,
about you, CJ? Funniest teammate you've had?
so high school, I'll say what's his name? What's his nickname? Toot. You know what I'm talking about?
Toogie? Yeah, I'd say. I mean,
Oh,
Cavante.
Starlin.
I know.
Starlin.
Toogie.
Yeah, he was the funniest
Yeah,
in.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Toogie.
he was the funniest in high school. College, it's probably this dude named Ben Coleman or Scat. Those two might have been the funniest.
All right. Here we are. We're on our last section. I'm gonna get you guys out of here, get you rest of your evening back to you. All right. So everybody answer. Everybody's one word answer, one name answer. Everybody gives their answer, and then we move to the next one. All right. So we'll start with Dad. We'll go in order, oldest to youngest. You give us a one name answer, then we move on to the next question. Everybody ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Best athlete in the family.
Me.
Oh, me?
CJ.
Mom. I go
Okay.
mom. Dad go get mad.
Okay. He might be the favorite after that. I don't know, man. All right, best trash talker.
Me.
My dad.
I'll give it to him.
Okay. All right, best cook.
Me.
All right, bro. Mom.
Yeah, I get
Okay.
okay. Yeah. I thought it was gonna be out of the three of us. With her, oh yeah, we gotta throw she. Yeah, no doubt.
Oh,
About
it is the three of us?
Yeah, we can do the three of y'all. That makes sense. Let's do it the three
Oh,
of y'all.
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Me. No doubt.
You.
I would
Amen.
say me. When I cook, it's me.
I'll go dad.
For a second.
I'm not cook. I ain't gonna.
I'm gonna say somebody lying. Ain't nobody. No, y'all over there cooking, man. All right, who's the hardest worker?
Well, I'm not. It's gonna be out of those two. I'm not. I mean, my time. I don't put my time in. So flip a coin. I think I praise both of them for hard work. They both put in work, and that's what have separated them, I would say. So I'll give them both a coin toss on that. It could go either way.
Okay.
I would say both.
What you gonna say, CJ? Go on and tell the truth, man. Who is it?
I will say both, but I try to make
Middle
sure.
to,
I try to make sure that nobody outworks me, no matter who it is. But I will say, if there was a close second, I'd give it to him.
all right, who's the
All right.
smartest of the three of us?
I am because I got wisdom.
Yeah, it's clearly dad because he has age on us.
We'll
Okay.
give it to him.
Wisdom. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Everybody's going with the wise Al. I got you. Most stubborn out of the three of us.
Oh,
Trey.
Trey.
Yeah, it's me. That's me.
Wow, you
That's
nasty. Wow.
By far.
Okay. All right, who's the better student? Who's the best student out of the three of y'all? Who's the best student or who is the best student?
I would say best student when they're talking about putting in the work. CJ probably came more natural. Trey probably worked more hard at it and put time in. So I would say best student, I would say Trey.
I would say myself.
I said me.
There you go. Stand on it.
That's me.
All right. Let's see. Who's the first one awake?
Me.
Gotta be Dad, right?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
It's gotta be Dad. That was pretty
Yeah.
easy.
Oh, wait.
All right, well, last rapid question here. All
I
right,
was
so
on no
family had a
time.
7-on-7 team. The family had a 7-on-7 team. Who's playing quarterback?
Me, no doubt. Not even close.
He said me for everything.
I would say my dad. That I would probably say dad.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Well,
Yeah,
because he played quarterback at one point, right?
Okay, okay. Well,
Yeah,
we got some Warren Moon action, Steve McNair. How we throwing this thing around, man? Give me
Oh,
a call.
little bit of mix of everything. I'm a combination of all back in the day. Yeah.
Okay, you stir it
Little
all
Vic
in
if
the
I
pot. I
had to.
got you. We get in a
Hey,
little bit of everything.
yeah. We would have split back Ville, so I played hey, we run it old Oklahoma style. Jamel Holloway, it didn't make no difference.
Okay. Yeah. I hear you. All right, so I gotta know. Were you one, are you gonna make the right read, or you pulling that ball out of that fullback's belly regardless?
I'll make the right read.
You gonna make the right read?
Oh, yeah.
All right now.
That read, hey, it might make the difference. So yeah,
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I give my high school quarterback grief all the time. My senior year, we played Dick Geyer in the 5th round of the playoffs, and we ran
remember
veer
that.
option to my side. And the week before, the quarterback ran for about 180 yards off veer option, pulling it, taking off. So here we are, end of the game, 4th quarter, it's on the line, and what does he do? He pulls that ball out of that fullback's stomach, ain't reading nothing. He went in there, got a tackle for loss for 2 yards, and we had to punt it. And, history is what history is. But I always give quarterbacks a hard time, especially the option. You making a play or you going to make the right read?
Yeah.
All right, last question for all three of y'all. 20 years from now, what will be said about the legacy of the Fite family to Tatum, Texas?
I would say based upon they carried themselves well. And once again, if people can say something good about you, because, you know, in life, there's going to be people who probably going to like you, might like you, whatever, but they got to respect you as a person. They might not like the things that I do and the things I've said and some things I've done, but they respect me as a person because I did things right. So to say they carried themselves well, that would be, you know, accolades, they're going to come and go, but to say your character and who you were, that's important.
That's what's up. You guys got anything to add?
I would say great people. I think especially my grandparents, especially growing up, seeing them, like, people would just come over asking for fruits, vegetables, or, you know, just community and being able to support one another and love one another. And obviously very faith-based. So I think just great people and being loving, and no matter who you are, just coming in with welcoming arms.
What
Yeah,
about you, CJ?
I'll just tie them both together. I think really was just making sure that we do everything the right way and doing everything as everybody else should do it, and trying to just be the example and just try to, I don't know, do people right as we do these things. So whether it's doing one thing, just making sure we do everything the same way we do the first thing. So it's just being the people who do it the right way and be able to touch people as we go.
Man, that's excellent, man. I want to thank you guys for joining me, man. Once again, I have the highest opinion of you guys. Like I said, in that one short year I was around you guys, y'all left such an impression on me, from your dad all the way down to how y'all behaved as young men, 8th and 9th graders at that time, getting a chance to coach Trey, getting a chance to even coach CJ a little bit, you know, during that off season. And man, I think the world of y'all. I think y'all are great people, and I just can't wait to see what y'all do next in this world. And, you know, hopefully, you know, NFL this time next year. Shoot, maybe even the NFL for both of us this time next year. I hope you have the best year you've had at UTSA this year, Trey. And so, you know, at the end of the day, whether it turns into that or not, I know you two young men are going to be great members of society, all because of how you and your wife have raised these young men. And just like I said, I can't say enough about you guys, man. It's been great, and I appreciate your time. It's busy trying to get 4 people who all have busy schedules, all trying to get on one court. I appreciate you guys sitting with me these 45 minutes, and man, best of luck to y'all for the 2026 season. Same to y'all out there in Tatum. Hope y'all get it back rolling again. And that's all I got.
Hey, I appreciate you having us on.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
I think a lot of you as well.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All right,
You too.